Ask you a question. How important is your prime vendor agreement? Think about that for just a moment. How important is it? You know, in some cases, it can mean the difference between expanding your business or going out of business. It can mean the difference between operating at low margins or operating at high margins. Your ability to negotiate your wholesale contract is critical to the health of your pharmacy organization. In fact, your biggest spend is where? It's in inventory. So it's very important to look at how much you're paying for your drugs. Unfortunately, the time and the effort on negotiating prime vendor agreements are not prioritized by many pharmacy organizations, when in fact, it should be given the highest priority because it has the potential of making the biggest impact on a pharmacy company's net profit. So let's discuss this just a little more on what's happening, what mistakes are pharmacies making when addressing their drug purchasing agreements. The first big mistake that some make, hopefully not your pharmacy, but this is a huge mistake, is the pharmacy, when their wholesale contract expires, they just accept whatever their wholesaler's offering them at the time or whatever the latest buying group offer is. And this can be very costly because only when you force the wholesalers and buying groups to compete against each other will you drive down the cost of goods. I mean, this is economics 101, basic economics. I don't, make the rules. That's just the way it is. So that's a big mistake if a pharmacy is just accepting whatever offer is being presented to them. Because I can guarantee you that you can get a much better offer if you work on it. The second big mistake that some pharmacies make is, even though they go through the process of comparing wholesalers and buying groups and so forth, and they go through that process, but they only pick a couple to compare against. And now, why do they only pick two? I don't know. Maybe it's because they don't have the time to deal with the wholesalers and buying groups, so they want to keep it simple. They rule out others, maybe because of personality conflicts. I don't like this person. The salesperson treated me poorly 5 years ago, so forget them, or something like that. Or there may be some other reason why they don't want to entertain more than two. However, again, just like in any industry, the more companies vying for your business, the more competition there is, the lower the offers will go. The third costly mistake a pharmacy may make is they read the wholesaler offers as is. So the wholesaler or the buying group, they present the pharmacy an offer, and they just accept that as God's truth. That's a mistake, friends. A pharmacy should never do this, and I'll tell you why. First of all, what do I mean by they read the wholesale offer as is? What do I mean by that? Well, in other words, they just accept the best offer without checking for accuracy. So keep this in mind. Just one error in a pharmacy's top 1,000 can mean the difference between hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases. Like, really, what's the point of receiving an offer if you can't guarantee accuracy? And as you probably already well aware of, you can't gauge savings on the RX cost of goods discount percentage alone. You have to look at a whole lot more than that. And from our experience at SRG, the initial comparisons from wholesalers and buying groups, they're never accurate. When I say never, I'm not exaggerating. They're never accurate. And some are even intentionally inaccurate. Yet errors, unintentional or intentional, will find their way into comparisons, and that can make a bad offer look good and a good offer look bad. We have never at SRG seen one wholesaler offer not littered with errors. And in one recent experience, one pharmacy they almost walked away from their current wholesaler because they thought that another offer was far better. But once we drilled their offers down and we really looked closely examined their offer and the comparison, we proved otherwise. We helped them see that it wasn't better, and I mean, if they made the switch, that could have cost them millions of dollars by selecting the better offer. So along this line, imagine this scenario. Perhaps you receive what seems like a legitimate line item pricing report from a drug wholesaler that indicates enormous savings. Let's say you receive this, but a few months into the contract, and you're scratching your head and you're going, our net profit is getting worse, not better. Why? You received a better offer. Why is it getting worse? It's because the pricing offer was never accurate in the first place. That's why. And I'm smiling, but it's not funny. It happens a lot. So, and FYI usually takes the average wholesaler at least 8 to 10 iterations of the same pricing report before the errors are cleaned up. And none of that is automatic. It takes a lot of experience from the receiving party and back and forth communication to finally land on an accurate report from a wholesaler or buying group. And unfortunately, pharmacies don't stringently look at this. They don't stringently check for errors in pricing submissions or know what to look for. The fourth mistake pharmacies often make is they don't receive an apples to apples comparison. In other words, there's no baseline or rules put in place to compare the offers accurately against each other. If this isn't tightly controlled, at the end of the day, there's no way of knowing which offer is better. One offer may look better on paper, but it may not be real. Comparisons contain many unknowns. There are many variables. It's really up to the pharmacy to push the wholesalers to provide unequivocal proof of the savings that they can deliver. The fifth mistake many pharmacies make is this. They're just looking at cost of goods. And that's a mistake too. They don't look at other factors that can negatively or positively impact the pharmacy's net profit. And this is often because the pharmacy, they just really don't trust the wholesalers in the buying group's suite of services that they offer. They think there's a catch or whatever. And sometimes it is. You shouldn't trust those services. Yet some of those services may really help a pharmacy's bottom line. So you need to look at their suite of services no matter what. So as you can see, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort to arrive at the best prime vendor agreement for a pharmacy organization. It's unrealistic to think that any pharmacy will just land or just fall into a good prime vendor agreement. So the next question is, well, how can a pharmacy company avoid making these mistakes? The same mistakes that many pharmacy owners and operators make when negotiating their prime vendor agreements. Well, I'm gonna tell you the answer, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you hire us, but I'll give you some options. It really comes down to talent, right? That's what we're talking about, talent. It's the talent that you have access to. And you will need to put that talent to work to find the best offer for your pharmacy organization. So where do you find this talent? Is the next question. So here are a couple things to consider, to ask yourself if you run or help run a pharmacy company. I just got out of focus. Okay. So number one, do I already have someone in my organization that has extensive experience modeling contracts for a drug wholesalers in a former life? Do you have someone like that working for you? You will need someone like that with years of experience on the other side in the wholesale industry, specifically involved in modeling contracts. that's the person you need to look for. Their resume should include an understanding of wholesalers' margins, their tactics, their methodology behind pricing out in each drug class. So let's say you find that person, you have that person, an employee that works for you, that has that experience. First of all, if you have someone like that working for you, that's great. That's fantastic. Great start. Maybe they were a business development manager like myself in a former life, or they worked in the finance department at a large drug wholesale company in years past. If you have a person with that experience, that's a great start. However, you also need this person to have other skills. They need to be analytical, an excellent communicator, assertive, but not aggressive, in order to deal effectively with the wholesalers and buying groups, to juggle them. They need those skills as well. So let's say you have this person. That's good. The second question that you need to ask yourself, can I afford to pull that individual out of their current role and have them work exclusively on negotiating on your next prime vendor agreement? Because that's what you need to do. Now, why would you even consider doing that? Well, as already mentioned, there's a lot of work involved to find the truth, to find the bottom, to maximize your pharmacy savings. And to do this, you will need at least 7 to 9 months to work on that project exclusively, to really find the bottom that your organization is looking for. Trust me, I've tried this. There's no way of automating this. There's no way of automating this process. So keep this in mind too, that the savings that you may generate can be many times an employee's yearly salary. So is it worth it? Heck yeah. It's worth it. All good reasons to pull that person for this work if you have someone like that. Yet, the last question is, can you pull that person out of their current role? Now, most companies can't afford that. They can't do that. It would cause too much disruption in their operations. So instead, here's the third option, and I believe the best option, and a more common sense solution would be to look for talent outside of your organization. A consultant with the right tools and experience already. And it would make more sense to use a consulting company, set up from the ground up for this type of work. And at SRG, the company that I work for, at SRG company, we're that company. There's no company like us in the United States, and that's because our consultants do all of the legwork on behalf of our clients. You don't have to do anything if you don't want. We will involve you only as much as you want to be involved in the process. We have more experience in this area of expertise than any other pharmacy consulting organization in the United States, period. So for a very reasonable fee, based on a sliding scale of savings, we can help your pharmacy organization find the best prime vendor agreement out there, tailored to your pharmacy, tailored to your drug mix, tailored to your pharmacy's needs. And the best part is, we don't ask for anything up front. No, not a single dime you have to pay for this service up front. We only get paid after we deliver to your pharmacy savings, after the work is done, and that's 7 to 9 months later. So there's just no reason not to hire us if you're looking at getting the best prime vendor agreement built for your pharmacy. We work with the vast majority of buying groups. We work with every wholesaler, every VAUD certified distributor, every group purchasing organization. Yet, unlike any wholesaler, any buying group, any GPO, we are completely independent. We have no competing interests. No one else can say that. No other pharmacy company can say that they work exclusively for your pharmacy's interest. Can a wholesaler say that? No. Can a buying group say that? No. No one can say that. Our only interest at SRG would be to save your pharmacy organization as much money as humanly possible and provide you a very easy way to clearly see each offer broken down to the penny. And we can assure you that we will not sugarcoat anything. We're going to just tell you the truth. Where else are you going to find the truth? We can provide that to you. That's what we do. We're good at it. We have uncovered millions and millions of dollars of savings for our long-term care and retail clients. And we can do the same for your pharmacy. We're proud of the work we do, and we make independent pharmacies very happy, and that pleases us. It helps us to get up in the morning and go to work. So, are you an independent pharmacy? Are you 7 to 9 months away from the end of your wholesale contract or more? If so, give us a call to discuss your options. It's never too early to begin talking to us. We don't charge anything for initial consultations or conversations. So there's no risk, no obligation. Our number is 314-279-SRCG. Again, that's 314-279-7724. Or you can visit us at specrxgroup.com. And you can also use our chat feature that's on our website if you prefer not to talk to someone on the phone. I understand that. Some prefer messaging over talking on the phone. That's understandable nowadays. We would love to answer any questions that you may have. No bad questions. We take them all. So hope to hear from you. One more thing, please, I beg you, support your local independent businesses. Please. It's the backbone of our economy. Your local pharmacies. Support your local deli. Support your local grocery stores. Support your local salons. You name it. Forget big box stores. Walk away. Hashtag walk away. Of course, you'll probably get it. That's going to send you to a different link. But anyway, buy local. Appreciate your time, and have a good week.